Hello, my friends. Today we have to shut down the music. Wow. Let me just show something. This is this is um this is flower. This is flower that have been dried out. This too. So this is what I did today. Here is a flower too. Here is flowers. And I think that this container is a vase from my mother's time. She had this, I think, and it is crystal. I think it's crystal. So I had a bunch of flowers in this container over many years. Over the time people give me flowers, so I don't forget that. I want to remember every flower that people, mainly women, because they love flowers. So even to a man, they give flowers. Wow. So the ladies, that is long time ago, by the way. Lately I have not got any flowers, believe you me. I think that is not needed either, but maybe I have to grow some flowers myself. It's due time that I do this flowering. I have a picky taste of glass. It's kind of what I like. And these flowers, I wanted to collect every bits and pieces of these flowers, even this. I put it down, it's like stones. So these flowers I have collected after withering flowers. Let me see. Yeah. Withers. Flowers do wither. Let me listen to it.
Withers.
Withers. So I had to search that up because it's not the Norwegian word for that is visne. Visne. So it's derived from obviously the English word, if not the Latino. Here the other day I heard that bi'a in Hebrew, that is Hebrew for come, coming or come. That is Luo. It's we went to Kenya, the Luo tribe of Luo. They had this bika. This is the word from Hebrew. So maybe there is some origins there. But I wanted to talk about flower and relationship and maybe service, because as you saw, it have this smell to it, fragrance, that is that is there all the time. It have never withered. And I believe that this will never stop being a fragrance of this perfume or this fume over flowers, and it's pretty nice. I don't need to spray around with a nice smell, this pepper spray. I don't believe that is what I need, because I got enough of it back in 1.5 week ago. So that was I got enough of that. And but you see, we every human have some fragrance to us. Some I heard that today by the way, by a lady, and she said that you are so nice, and I appreciate that. I don't believe it like I am nice. No, I can be quite honest and cruel. And I'm talking much about honesty and being saying the truth. And that's price to pay. But by that price, people are not aware of what it costs. What that kind of experience, that kind of, you say the truth, you say the right thing, but it's in an environment that is so toxicated by lies, by deceptions, and by other people's rulings. So it's much needed. You see, even Russia today, back in the Soviet Union, when you had these authors, the Jewish, most of them were Jewish activists, and see, the Jews, they say that, I heard that from a reliable source, that if it wasn't for the Jews in America, the war in Vietnam wouldn't have stopped that soon. You see, the Jews, I don't generalize like that, it's not good, but it's much noted. It's very important to note that in your back your conscience, that many of your rights, human rights, have been fought by Jewish activists. Not that you should leave it be since you're not a Jew. No, I'm not a Jew. I'm a Gentile, full and wholeheartedly Gentile. I'm almost proud to be a Gentile. Before I wanted to be a Jew because there were so many smart people that I couldn't compare myself with them. No way. That's very odd. But I learned to see that within me is a kind of value. There is a value to me. Not because I am me, not like that. You pick a man and randomly and he is so valuable. No, but I think my drive, my spirit, that is given to me. We have to look within and not within at the same time, because we can't take pride or glory for something we are innate born with. And I asked the activist in Israel, he was a settlement activist, or he was a fighter. Not only settlements, but he talked the truth, and even against his own government, a Danish Jew from Denmark. He was talking fluently Danish, so we could avoid the Hebrew so far, because Hebrew is a language that you will need an eternity to learn. And I think that it shows the degree of stamina that the Jews have in order to learn their own language, which they can't say because they come from Russia, come from Norway, and none of them could speak like Hebrew. It was only written in their Bible, and their Bible, the Torah, was written in Hebrew because it's authentic. That's you don't change the original language. And only the rabbis could talk Hebrew, and I bet during Shabbat and Pesach and Easter, they had their traditions and their much needed tradition, because they were in a foreign country, which in many ways denied them their obvious rights. The rights we took for granted, we denied them. And that's the obscenity to it. So they had their own culture which protected them and which preserved also their language in some extent. But this guy, Ben Yehuda, he came back to Israel and he told his family, you must never talk other language but Hebrew. And that's how he and them learned how to speak Hebrew. And he made a big volume book of how to learn Hebrew. Every time there is something important to say, I may put up this, because it's that kind of Ben Yehuda. It's a street in the midst of Jerusalem that's called Ben Yehuda Street. It's a nice mingling place, street in the midst of the New Jerusalem. So it's kind of a prophecy that's... but you see, if the nations, all the nations of the world, had accepted Jerusalem to be the capital of Israel, and not only that, because that is more political, that is not so religious per se, but when we go into the religion, even the Jews, they can't pray, they are not allowed by the Waqf, by the ruling on the Temple Mount, where their own temple stood in their earlier period. And it's kind of strange that people in the vicinity of their own country, their own legacy, can't be allowed to pray, hold a prayer book or sing a song or something religiously or a ceremonial activity. No, they are not allowed. And you that are listening to me, you don't oppose that. You would rather grant the Palestinians the right to send rockets and stones and knife stabbers than grant Jews their right to pray wherever they find fit. And it's why they say next year in Jerusalem, it's because the temple is in the heart of the Jewish heart. It is the core of the Jewish people. So the core now is absent. But you see, if we had allowed and protested against this this menace of enrollment, we would already, I believe, have experienced to be in the temple where this fragrant, these flowers, this fume were all around, covering the whole place. So in this temple there should be, as according to the scripture and the directive of the temple, how it should be governed. It should be placed, this ointment or something that gave this fragrant smell that reminded them of heaven. And not only heaven, you see, the fragrance of these flowers, it took a lot of time to harvest them. I had to wait for the flower to bloom, for the plant to it's from one seedling. It was one leaf of this dried out plant. This is the plant, we call it November cactus, and it's only blooming once a year, or in my case twice a year or more. But you see, it takes a lot of time, and some of this, most of this is from orchids, orchid, or what you call it. And it takes a lot of time before it comes, and when it comes, it takes some time before the flower leaves the plant, and then I harvest it into these containers that have been there throughout. So now I found this kind of container to it, and what I wanted to add to this is that it takes, you see, when you want to make fragrance, you need a lot of flowers, you need a lot of plants, flowers, and crush them and make oil out of it. So you see, the fragrance you buy in the store, it's not cheap. It's loads of flowers, loads of specifically picked flowers. It's not random, it's very specific, and it's a mixture of different flowers in order to get the fragrance that you can like. So you see, I relate this fragrance from flowers, also from oil, from insects. It's this I don't really remember what it was, but it was a kind of a snail or some insect or something that this fragrant in the temple was about. And it is very rare. It's hardly found, and the recipe, you need to know something not the average people can know. So they experienced this, and they have found out the right fragrance that is prepared now to put in temple. So you see, what I would compare or relate this to is the kind of sacrifice, the kind of back story, the background picture to this kind of fragrance that is so special, so dedicated people that talk the truth, not cheating around just to get a peace and no turmoil, no reaction, just acceptance all over. It takes hard stamina, and it's hard bravery, because sometimes when you talk the truth, it's hard because you are disliked. People oppose when we are talking the truth. It's how it is. It's the nature of the human mind. It's how we are. If you say something like a criticism about me, I will react. It's harder. It's harder to defend yourself against words that encourage you or promote you or make you looking good in others' eyes. It's hard to defend yourself, because all this is intentionally, maybe, not always. You can be admired, very honestly admired, but it's kind of not that not kind of maybe after some time that you had worked very hard for a thing that you want to endure and obtain or something, then you get it. It's kind of this honey from the bee when it eats this little drop of from the flowers, this droplet, and it is it is containing this pollen from the flowers in order to give it as food to the offsprings, and we are collecting this honey, which is it is a multitude of bees. That's okay, but every bee, if you should wait for the one bee to do all this, it will take forever. But because it's united effort, so that is also a picture of itself, that by unionship you can achieve more. Everybody knows what to do. Everybody knows their task. The fragrant in the temple, it belongs in the temple, the nice fragrant. And you can use it, the women mostly, they use it in order to have some attraction. Perfume, all this kind of smells, aromatic smell, it's somewhat intriguing the male reproduction need. And also you have the animals, by, for example, lions, that they need to know. They have some organ in their mouth or somewhere, the smelling organ, that smells this kind of readiness, matureness on the lioness, when she is ready to be mated or be impregnated by these seeds. So the male lion, lion the king, will do it when she is ready, but he can't only jump on her in order to impregnate, because she needs to be ready. It's not like that with maybe it's like that during the menstruation period, but that is the human is doing some external activity, because the body's smell can be quite annoying. Like me, when I'm going out, I can be somewhat This is not a good smell. What if someone really smelled me now? So we need to have some add-ons. But the lions, they know when, because the lion do the kind of this and smiles. I don't know if it intrigues the lioness in some way, but that is their that is how it is. It's also that with the elephant and all the others. So this kind of fragrance from the animals is an important signal to come. And when it's put in the temple, I believe that it's kind of, the God is ready to receive you. Since the smell, the fragrance, the perfume should be in the temple always, it's a kind of a signal that the God is ready for you at any time. It's much needed. It's much needed today because people feel lost. People feel seasoned because the flowers is blooming in different seasons, and so maybe people think that it's not my turn now. It's other people now. It's not me. It's her. It's them, and never me. And so they get disappointed and break of heart. And this rabbi told us that the worst thing you can experience in life that will make you sick is a broken heart. That you are disappointed, you're optimistic, your hopes, your expectations are broken. Your heart, what your heart was longing for, is broken. So this, we have a story in the Bible about this lady that was anointing Jesus' feet. And she broke the container in order to put oint on his feet. And that is a very beautiful picture, that we can anoint each other. I don't know the true meaning of that. It can be somewhat hard to explain in details. But to be at this service, Jesus also washed the disciples or apostles their feet. It's kind of a service that gives fragrance to it. When you do something for someone out of your own need to do something good, I've been talking about that before. It takes a kind of offering, a kind of sacrifice to talk the truth and do some service to other people. It's much needed today, my friend. If you think that you are left out, don't even believe that for a second, because it's just a missed opportunity on your behalf. Do what is right and what is good. Don't look at times you didn't do it. Don't look at times you didn't have the opportunity to do good. Look at the time you in fact did good. It will count. Do good rather than wrong. And if you do good, it's not only pleasant service, it can be the hardest task to talk the truth, but to encourage a friend, to say some blessed words, like, you are my brother, you are my sister, you are my sibling, you are mine. I am you and you are me. I feel that we are so close. Something of a unionship, something of a united heart. That is what we need today. Brotherhood, sisterhood. That we can see each other every day. Even it takes some sacrifice on your behalf, it's the fragrance. That is the fragrance. A broken vessel gives off good fragrance.